Excuse me, Mr. DJ.
Hey, check this out. We got a great show coming your way.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, the #1 sports information program in America, the Breakfast Bankroll, with your host, the sports broker, Jeff Dawson.
ECSI fans, do you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all of your sports books and track all of your bets in one place. So your current action, your betting history, and stats. You can also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as they're the best account on the platform. Head to the App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire to download the app.
Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is our Breakfast Bankroll for Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024, our weekly trip to LA, La La Land, and a big morning. It's Oscar nominations. And when I say early in the morning, this gentleman has been up since the crack bleep of dawn. We've been talking already for over an hour, so we can't be more stoked. But first, a shout out to our new proud sponsor and partnership, WagerWire. If you have not downloaded the app, shame on you. That was your New Year's resolution. Jump on over to Google Play or wherever you download the apps. It's free. Start getting acclimated to the app. Start downloading some of the sports books that are available to you in your state. Take advantage of the match play, the free wagers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're looking to earn a little flash cash and join this amazing team and community, send an email to affiliate@wagerwire.com. Tell them JD from ECSI sent you, Zach, Travis, the rest of their team and community and staff, the best in the business. And if you're not a part of this community right now, you're going to look back a year from now and shake your head. Why didn't I do it? And I'm going to tell you, I told you so. So without further ado, let's bring in the real star of this show, live from LA, Mr. Travis Geiger.
Good morning, movie fans. I'm at the Kodak Theater, kind of. Good to see you, Jeff.
Great to see you. Thank you so much for jumping in early this morning. It's a big day in LA. And for you, being a part of Hollywood, being a part of that whole world, something that most of us still look outside and are living through your eyes. Talk about the thought process. Talk about UCLA as you were visioning this and where you are today.
Yeah. So before sports, I was in film. I went to UCLA Film School. That's where I met my WagerWire co-founders. Dreams to be a writer, director, and that's exactly what I was doing before WagerWire. Now it's still something I do, but you know, as you can see here with Jeff Dawson Show, there's plenty in the media landscape to do in sports betting. So I've taken my skills to South Beach for a little bit, but so the academy is really interesting, and I worked, you know, on about a dozen movies in the almost decade or so leading up to the founding of WagerWire. I got to work with some really great filmmakers, some that people would know by name, like Michael Mann, Steven Spielberg, Eli Roth, but also like Todd Haynes, who directed May December this year. I became great friends with Todd's cinematographer, a man by the name of Ed Lockman, who was just nominated for El Conde on Netflix, if you haven't seen it, and Kevin Tent, who is Alexander Payne's editor, and he cut The Holdovers. So when I did my project, I was blessed that Ed was my cinematographer and Kevin was my editor, and we're still really good friends. So I think I want to talk actually about the odds journey as far as Vegas is concerned. We'll start with these two gentlemen, and I think maybe we go to Best Picture, and then also I got some in-game charts from the playoff games that we can talk about at the end of the show. But I wanted to to start with cinematography, because it speaks to how the Oscar voting works. And this year is different than other years because most people will legally be able to bet on the Oscars. Why are they able to legally bet on the Oscars and maybe not a show like Survivor? Well, because PricewaterhouseCoopers is actually the agency that handles the voting. So as far as the state of California is concerned, it's the same as the lottery as far as like how tight the rules are. Whereas something like who's going to die last on Game of Thrones or who's going to win Survivor, these are kind of predetermined outcomes because the thing is shot before and then rebroadcast. So if you were on the crew, you could tell your cousin, you could tell your sister. Now, offshore books, they let you bet these categories, but you'll see that the max bet is pretty low because they know that there are people with inside knowledge. Now, the Oscars, there's no inside knowledge, right? What happens is there's a process at the very beginning of the year. I mean, this year there was about 350 films eligible, right? And once you're eligible, what eligible means is there's a couple things that you have to do, but one of them is you have to have at least a 7-day run in either Miami, Chicago, New York, or Los Angeles, 7 consecutive days in a theater. So even the streamers that are up for it have to go into theater. It's a way of getting Hollywood making those films patron the theaters. And then it's a lot of politics, right? An interesting thing is that the studios themselves can't directly pay for Oscar campaign events, but they can pay somebody to put them on for them. So you have a lot of these kind of ultra influencer types that are really behind the scenes insider Hollywood people that throw these incredible Oscar parties. You know, you see Vanity Fair does it, but that's a little bit different. I'm talking about the studios themselves. So that person might be running multiple Oscar ones. So it's like, oh, it's just a party, but Bradley Cooper's there and Margot Robbie's there. And how did this happen? You know? But what's interesting about the nominations, Jeff, and for everybody listening, is that it's interdisciplinary nominations, meaning the cinematographers nominate cinematographers, the editors nominate editors, actors nominate actors. So when you're looking at how the odds are kind of going up, what the biggest determination is their guild awards. So when you look at the SAG awards, when you look at the American Society of Cinematographers, the ASC awards, that's their honor society, or the ACE awards, the American Cinema Editors, those are really the voting blocks that are going to make up the nominees. So when my friend Ed Lockman he's the cinematographer of El Conde. It's a movie by Pablo Larraín. He recently did Jackie, and he's done a lot of really good movies. A South American filmmaker, Chilean. He does a black and white vampire movie about Augusto Pinochet, and it's 100-1, totally outsider chance, right? But Ed Lockman is venerated in the cinematography community. He's got 2 Oscar nominations, one for Far From Heaven and the other for Carol in 2016, which is a movie I worked on with him, a Kate Blanchett, Rooney Mara love story, also directed by Todd Haynes of May December. I know I'm talking like a sports guy with movie terms, like the way this is how it must sound. If you're not into film, this is how it sounds when people are talking sports and they're not cued in. So, okay. But I'm sure everyone's been watching the movies this year because they've been really freaking great. So now Ed submits for and this is insider story because I've been talking to him. He submits for an ASC award, American Society of Cinematographers. Keep in mind, this is the voting block. He puts his film in for foreign film, best foreign film cinematography, because it's almost entirely in Spanish. But he gets nominated next to Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Poor Things, one other one for the ASC awards, right? Heavy hitters. So all of a sudden, overnight, he goes from 100-1 to 40-1. Why? Because the people that are the voting block now have recognized this outsider movie that probably no one was seeing, but the cinematographers are paying attention. So now Hollywood starts paying attention. And so that gets announced. And then 2 days later, the LA Times comes out, okay? He's the dark horse to be nominated. Variety comes out. He's number 4. He's above the bubble to be nominated, all because of the ASC awards. And you look at the SAG awards, same way. This, the editing guild, the same way. So if you're going to bet on Oscar nominations, look to the guild awards. Now you can also look for the trifecta. If you're looking for an actor, you can look for the Golden Globes, the Screen Actors Guild, and the Critics' Choice. Those 3 are the best indicators for an actor, whether it's lead or supporting, that they're going to get an Oscar nomination. And like we said before, the major categories, I can't speak to all of them, but they will be up on sports books to bet this year. So right now, as it is today, Ed is 35-1 to win. So those were odds to win. So he went from 100-1 to 40-1, 37-1 to 35-1 in the course of 7 days. Now, of course, because I kind of had an intuition, I went on WagerWire's partner, Stations Stations Casino, STN, and I bet on Mr. Lockman on the WagerWire marketplace that we have up on STN Play. And I just won quite a bit of coins. That was a free to play, but it wasn't offered in any illegal markets. And I'm an officer of the company, so I didn't want to bet illegally, but I won a lot of coins. So that's cinematography. Now, Jeff, if I may just go to editing for a second with my other good friend, Kevin Tent. Congrats, Kevin. So Kevin was recently nominated for The Descendants, which is Alexander Payne's last movie with George Clooney, but he most famously cut Sideways. Now, The Holdovers is an interesting film. It's by Alexander Payne, also a UCLA alum. Again, Alexander Payne's done Sideways, The Descendants. He's done Election, Citizen Ruth. I mean, an incredible filmmaker all around. This movie is kind of an understated movie, but it's really become beloved. It's almost like a Dead Poets Society type of feel to it, right? Where it's Paul Giamatti, who won the Screen Actors Guild Award, so might even win, an actor here. And then the director is making a huge comeback. He went underground for a little bit. The editing is what keeps it together. It keeps it lively. It keeps it, brisk. It's breezy, even though everyone's a little bit of a curmudgeon. I would recommend it if you guys haven't seen it. It is a dark horse for Best Picture. So if you're on the books and you're looking at the Best Picture nominations, I would highly recommend looking at the value of The Holdovers, because it's on the rise. And then maybe, Jeff, I go over the odds for Best Picture right now.
Sure. Absolutely.
All right. Oppenheimer is 6-1 to win. Killers of the Flower Moon is 8-1. Holdovers is tied at 8-1. Poor Things is tied at 8-1. Barbie is tied at 8-1. So you got a four-way tie for second. And then it's American Fiction at 10-1. Anatomy of a Fall 11-1, tied with Maestro 11-1. Then Past Lives at 12-1, and Zone of Interest at 15-1. Now, if you count it, that's 10 nominations. The Oscars can select between 5 and 10 films, because they acknowledge that 5 was too little, but not every year there's going to be an incredible slate of films. So between 5 and 10, as of I think 4 or 5 years ago, is the flux amount of nominations for Best Picture. Everyone else is capped at 5. So Holdovers 8-1. I mean, just 2 weeks ago we were looking at 20-1, and it started surging when it started winning Globes, et cetera, et cetera. So again, it's sitting out of first place, but of the 4 that are tied for second, I think that it has the biggest chance, because, tying it back to sports, it's on Peacock. And what happened? Everyone got Peacock to watch that stupid game. And now there's nothing else on Peacock to watch except The Holdovers. And hey, it's pretty freaking good. So it's getting a lot of attention.
Amazing where the world is coming. You're speaking my language, as you said, but just in another language. When we talk opening numbers, we talk overnight numbers, line moves, this, that, the other, weather, this, but it's amazing how each industry has their own language.
Yeah, it is interesting, right? Like when you're talking about offensive linemen or defensive, like a defensive tackle, or maybe you're talking about makeup and hair or something deep cut like that,
So this day is a big day every year. What was the feeling moving up to this day? In other words, being in these lanes, being in this industry, all the blood, sweat, and tears, all the work. Give us the highs and the lows.
So the real ones know that it's bullshit, and that's not why they do what they do, right? When I say the real ones, I mean, this means everything to the producers, but to the artist, it's just nice to be recognized. And like I said, my guy Todd Haynes, there's an adapted screenplay nomination that May December got, that I know that he did most of the writing on, but 2 other people got the credit. That's cool with him, right? He's all about the performances. He's all about getting everyone around him to get recognized, and that's what a good director does, right? They're invisible. They allow everyone else's work to shine because they're almost kind of above it. And so even though his films, I think, have combined for 12 or 13 nominations, he himself hasn't been nominated. And that's basically the idea, what Kevin and Ed, they're just like, hey, that would be great, but it feels like a heist to them because that's not why they did it. They're like, if I can sneak in there, like Ed with his black and white Spanish movie from an obscure indie director, getting one of the top 5 nominations next to Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, huge movies, right? $100 million movies. And here comes this micro budget film from South America. But that's why the beautiful thing about the actual disciplines nominating their peers, because you get to have these films on your radar. I don't think a lot of people, even though it's on Netflix, would have seen El Conde, but now they're going to check it out because it's nominated. So when I talked to Kevin, the editor of the Holdovers, who I'm teaching how to sports bet, by the way, and sorry, Kevin, about the crushing Bills loss. He's a Bills fan. When I talked to Kevin, it's just like, it would be great, but it doesn't make or break their life, which when you're watching from a distance, you're like, this is the biggest thing in these people's lives, but they do it for the love of the art. They're like, if I perform my best and I know I did my best, that's great. Even if they don't give me MVP, I did my best. And I don't know the politics involved with the player awards, but I'm sure Martwan Weaver from Arizona, who could win $680,000 on his $5 bet that we're selling, would love to know the politics, and we can talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, I think that the real story is how Greta Gerwig was snubbed, Margot Robbie was snubbed today for Barbie, and I'm sure that Warner Brothers is freaking out about that. But America Ferrera, amazing performance, supporting actor. She wasn't even, there was multiple supporting actresses in that film. I thought Kate McKinnon did a really good job. I thought she did a really good job. They ended up going with America Ferrera, but honestly, a disappointment for Barbie. Honestly, a disappointment for Killers of the Flower Moon. Leonardo DiCaprio got shut out, right? So not that he needs an Oscar or anything like that, but when you talk about the highs and lows, who's really feeling it this morning? I called Ed. I don't think he was up yet. I think my voicemail is going to be the first indication that he was even nominated. This is just another day. The thing that they really care about are, like, there's Camrimage, which is a cinematographer's film festival in Poland that no one's heard of. That's what matters to them. You win a golden frog, right? He's won the golden, silver, and bronze frog and the lifetime frog. He's the only one with all the frogs. Those frogs mean more to him than an Oscar, although an Oscar is always nice on the mantle.
Is it like the sports awards that becomes a popularity contest? Is it like, hey, this guy shunned me, so we're going to make sure we tag team it and he doesn't get a nomination? Is there a lot of, I'll use the word evil behind the scenes when it comes to these?
Yep. It's Hollywood, so evil is going to be an ingredient in whatever cake you're baking. Yeah, no, there's been people that are blackballed, blacklisted. I mean, you look at what's happened in the past. It's a lot of dirty politics, but the nominations, because it's the guilds, sometimes they do get it right. But if you look at things that have won before in the past, Jeff, I mean, Shape of Water, God bless you if you love it. I thought it was terrible. The fact that Shakespeare in Love won over Saving Private Ryan, ridiculous, right? They'll never live that down. 99. They get it wrong a lot of the times. Like All Quiet on the Western Front, great movie. Cinematography, I don't know, kind of made me queasy. That was last year. So the real ones know that, it's just an honor that people are seeing your film, but the politics can get really dirty because they know every single nomination they get, the studio knows every single nomination they get is X amount of dollars back in their pocket because it gives it a second life. Because forever, when people look on Wikipedia, look on wherever, not even this year, but in the future, they're going to see these names. They're going to go back and watch it to try to live through that era of cinema history. And now these guys, my two friends, are a part of it.
Lastly, on this subject, I have two daughters, graduate UConn, sophomore at UConn, wife they all love the movies. Now with today's world, Hulu, Netflix, yada, yada. I mean, they're streamaholics like the rest of the world. When there's a movie coming out and you're going to go to the theater and watch it, are you there just to watch the movie, or is your mind going a million miles a minute watching watching this part, watching this? Are you able to sit down and actually enjoy a movie?
Yeah, I think so. It's like, does Tony Romo enjoy the game while he's commentating? I think so, because you kind of see both levels at once, and the idea is to train your mind so you don't have to be consciously observing every aspect, but kind of absorbing it. But there are people that know before the flag is even out of the referee's pocket that was a hold. They can see that, things like that. So it's maybe just the more you're inundated, the faster your mind works. But I don't think it takes away the enjoyment. It actually makes you see through bullshit, which probably makes you enjoy less things. But the things that are really good are always incredible and doesn't get in the way.
I mean, we're 20 plus minutes in. I could talk to you for hours just about this. And then obviously, as we get closer, we'll make sure we hammer this home with you. Let's talk a little, we promoted the last couple of weeks. You guys are live on RT Sports. Let's give them a plug. And how's that world going in the marketplace over there?
Yeah, that's going great. So RT Sports, for everybody listening, is the first real money DFS marketplace, meaning you can sell your picks for real money before maturation. So if you have a five pick entry, as they call it, and your first player hits, your second player hits, you got 3 more on the board. Why wait to see if you're going to hit a 5-leg parlay when your bet is already way in the money from whatever you put down on it, right? So post it for sale, post it for a premium in case that next leg hits even. But like the idea is you can take money off the board for being directionally correct. Again, this is DFS Pick'em. It goes on every single day on rtsports.com. rtsports.com/wagerwire will actually get you right to the Pick'em page. At the top, you'll see a banner where you can buy plays, and inside you're going to see a marketplace. Now, the day's just getting started, so there's probably 3-4 bets on there, but you're going to see bets that other people have placed that have started to mature. So right now I'm looking at it. There's 3 bets on there right now that have their first leg hit. One's priced 18 to win 60. Another one's priced 18 to win 60. Another one's priced 20 to win 60. 20 to 160 is what it would be if you placed, 2 legs yourself. So the fact that you're getting a 3-leg for 18 on these other ones means you're getting a $2 discount. So Sidney Crosby on this one I'm looking at hit. They have McCaffrey and Goff. McCaffrey over on yards, Goff over on yards. So if you thought McCaffrey and Goff were both going to go over on yards, why pay 20 to win 60 when you can get this guy's bet for 18? And this guy's, in hog heaven, right? Because I forget what he laid down to win 60. I think it was, probably 10. So he's in hog heaven. He's $8 in the money. You're in hog heaven because you're, getting a $2 discount on a thing you would place anyway. So before you place before you make your pick, see if there's one that you like on the market for a discount. And then once you do make your pick, go ahead and post it for sale. Because even if you're making $1, $2, $3 at a time, you can play that way and make money rather than trying to hit these home run swings. Just get on base. We're all about just getting on base, being an investor, like you said, Jeff. Maybe even build it so that you have, a big multiplier, but your first few you feel really confident in. Let those legs hit. And let someone else take the risk on the rest of the multiplier.
That's the whole name of the game. And with your live calculator, and you're actually seeing what the real price and the real value is versus some of these other sports books that offer you the cash out, which the odds aren't even close to the true value, correct?
Yeah, like politely cash out a ripoff. And why wouldn't it be, right? It's your only option. All right, you can either win, lose, or take the price that they give you. But what does that price even mean? That's what our calculator is really great for. One of the things it's really great for. You can put in your bet, put in the odds you got it at, put in the current odds. It'll tell you what that bet's worth right now. Then you can put in the cash out value, and you can see calculated versus the real odds. If it's 50 cents on the dollar, 60 cents on the dollar, it's looking good if it's 70 cents on the dollar of real value, what the book's offering, right? And we're not saying take it, don't take it. We just want you to know, because you don't have that calculation that the book is making. We're just trying to put you on even footing. And then the cool thing is, it starts with RT right now, we're going to empower you to be able to post it for that, right? And we'll even grade the ticket. We'll say like A+, B+, B-, B, C, just like you were looking for a concert ticket. That way, when someone's on the market and they're coming, they know that you bet that you posted is at a discount to Vegas, so they're more likely to buy your bet. And also, so you know what the buyer is going to see. So we're just trying to make it easy for not only sharps, but novices, because I think a lot of people that come to sports betting for the first time, they're a little hesitant to put down money, and they should be, because they don't know what they're doing yet. This is downside protection as much as it is, profit capturing.
Last question, because I know you got a busy day, and thank you for not just joining us, but we cut into your workout session, so we know you got your workout session after the show. Give everyone watching and listening, and there's a boatload. We can't thank you guys enough. Like tipping the dealer at the Bellagio, or everyone watching on social media via Twitter, X, whatever we'll call it this one, a like, a retweet. Head on over to YouTube at East Coast Sports Investors and subscribe. It's free. It's a way to thank us, and we thank you for all the help, obviously, in the community. You got such a great following and team, and we're super stoked to be a part of. But I want everyone to know, not the vision, because we've talked about the vision. We've talked about the story with you and Zach. Let's just talk about 2024, where you are today, and as this is building. When we circle back the wagons on 123.25 a year from now, expectations, where what we will be talking about.
I think that you're going to see us absolutely everywhere. Our media is expanding. I think we'll be as big as Sports Greater VSiN, believe it or not. I know it's blasphemous to say, by football next year. I think you're going to want to tune into The Wire, which is a network that we're just starting to stand up, more so than you want to tune into those, because we're going to have, the voices that you like to hear. None of the dry stuff, nobody yelling at you, no touts, pandering, whatever. That's the media side of it, but the technology side, like, it starts with RT, and what we're seeing on RT is incredible, because a substantial portion of their handle is actually being bought and sold, right? And I think that when we make the business case to books, we have to make a growth business case, because to the bettors, right, everyone understands why it's good for them. Why would a book do this? Why would a book do anything that's good for the bettors? Well, it actually does benefit them, because the secondary marketplace grows the primary marketplace. And you see that in concert ticketing, right? When a Beyonce concert drops, people buy it, not because they're going to go to the Beyonce concert, but because they know that that ticket's going to be worth something, right? And the price is going to move as the concert gets closer. Same thing with the Cowboys Super Bowl future, right? Think of it like a Beyonce ticket. It's a hot item. If you know that some cowboy, poor schmuck, some Cowboys fan is going to think that they have a shot at some point in the season, look for the Cowboys when their odds are the longest, but you think that they're going to climb out of it. Place it at that bottom, wait till it rises, offload it. So when you talk about where we're going to be everywhere. We just got nominated for an FSGA award. That's the Fantasy Sports Gaming Association, most prestigious, organization in fantasy. Best innovation we were nominated for. So I think you're going to see us in much more, fantasy context. You're going to see us in hopefully some of the big guys as we crack the sports books, because that's what our ultimate goal is. I think you'll see us with our first sportsbook partners this year. And then going into 2025, the idea is to make this ubiquitous, because this is something that everyone should be able to do whenever they want to do it. In fact, we see it as consumer protection, and we're talking to states about, hey, casinos are financial institutions. Where's the protection for bettors the same way there are for investors, right? If banks and casinos are financial institutions, how come Hard Rock can shut off bets in Florida, but they can't do it in New Jersey because there's tighter regs in New Jersey? Because Reebok and the DGE, incredible group of people. They've thought it all the way through. They know that just because you fat finger some odds doesn't mean that you can screw over everybody. Of course, I'm talking about this one particular instance of a ticket where a bettor placed 500 to 1 odds on a Ravens to beat the Lions exacta. Should have been 50 to 1. They messed up. They voided it in Florida. They couldn't void it in the other states. They gave him no reason for doing it. He went on CNBC on Power Lunch, talked about it. It was in the Washington Post. It was a story we broke actually on our Twitter, which was amazing to see. Hard Rock having to give an official statement explaining their response to our tweet on CNBC. High watermark for me as far as breaking news stories. But so that is to say, but that all ties into the fact that we work with the books, but we're independent of the books, right? We're on the side of the bettor. We work with all books. And, because we can work with all books, we're not beholden to any one book. So when we see a foul, we're going to cry foul. That's what happened in the instance of Hard Rock. But to their credit, a lot of books are trying their best. I feel bad for Martwan Weaver with his FanDuel ticket. It's a locked bet, so they can't give him a cash out. So the only way that he can make money on it is with WagerWire helping him sell it, right? And we we do get an interested buyer, we have a really cool plan to actually, go to the NFL honors and see the bet all the way through, because we'll be in Vegas, as you will, for the Super Bowl, Jeff.
Well, we can't wait. We will be live in Vegas February 2nd through the 9th. We'll be on Radio Row Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Hoping to catch up, obviously, with you and Zach there. Dinner, lunch, the 4 C's of life are coming real soon. We do know that, but we'll keep that amongst the few of us, and then we'll announce. Actually, we'll probably announce it via T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, logos, and stuff
Absolutely.
like that.
Well, I got the last one on, Jeff. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, there you go.
There it is.
There it is. Oh, they can tell I'm not really at the Kodak, everyone. Dang, I'm out at. All right.
4:30 tonight, or give a second or two. Riley Magnuson will be back with the closing bell. Myself and Travis. Well, let me actually go segue this way. Myself and Anthony Pepe, the Die Hard Show, Sports Map Radio will be live tonight at TD Garden. The Women's Beanpot Championships, BU, BC, Northeastern, Harvard will all be playing. Me and Anthony will be live there broadcasting from 8 to 10. Travis will be on live at 9:45 our time, 6:45 back west. If you haven't downloaded the Sports Map app, please do. That's free as well. Or you can follow along at sportsmap.com and stream along with us. So again, Travis, big day for you. An exciting day. You were up real early. We can't thank you enough for coming on, and look forward to talking to you tonight.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and then so right before I go on Jeff's, anyone's on Twitter, we're doing an Oscar nomination show at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and then I'm going to go talk at the Garden after that. But we're going to try to get the editor of the Holdovers on, who I spoke about. We're going to be talking about who wins, who loses, who you can bet on, where to get that value ahead of the March 10th show, and we're going to be doing it every Tuesday in the run up to the Oscars. So watch some movies, everybody.
And we will tease the audience and say every week when we're here on Tuesdays, we'll be adding more. We'll keep track of those odds as we go. We'll make sure that's a part of the segment. And as we get closer to March 10th, Travis.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm looking forward to it.
From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, the one, the only Mr. Travis Geiger at WagerWire CXO. Shout out to Zach Doctor, WagerWire CEO, and of course, WagerWire themselves, the team, the staff, the community. You guys are the best. We look forward to catching up with you guys soon. So enjoy the day, and we will see you real soon.